churches and sort of some generational research. And he's saying very similar things. We're seeing some similar data out of Barna. And really where Rob and I, who's we mentioned is not here, where we started this conversation and why we have the podcast at all is because we had two questions. And we have older teens. And so it affected our house and our life in sort of thinking and perspective. We work on a college campus as well. Why are they leaving the church, and are they coming back? So what we see is this exodus of students at 16, 17, they get driver's license, they get jobs, they sort of leave the youth group, they get to college, they leave the church. How do we do some things to slow that down or recapture their hearts?
Yeah. Oh man, so many layers to unpeel in that onion, I think another thing that is can be identified with this generation as well is emotional health.
Right.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Yeah. Okay. So I just turned 41. All right. So how like our generation and then like older millennials, we used to always like self-diagnose ourselves with ADD or ADHD, like whether we had it or not, we all thought we did. We're like, my, because of my ADD. Well, I feel like young millennials and Gen Z are doing this exact same thing, but they're doing it with depression and anxiety.
That's so true.
Whether they're clinically diagnosed or not, we know that's real clinical, but whether they're clinically diagnosed or not, they all think they have depression or anxiety. I don't know if you saw where the YouVersion like released the number one like kind of searched scripture last year, and it was from Philippians about don't be anxious, and
right.
so and so I think there's going to be some emotional health things that we need to prepare them for in our discipleship process. So if that's a part of our discipleship process, if it's not, we got to show them biblically how to practice self-control, emotional health. And then I think on the more practical level, I think like doctrine and theology and discipleship in student ministry is so key. And what I mean by that is my fear is we are releasing people out of our student ministries to go to universities or go to the workforces, and they do not know how to articulate their faith. They do not know how to defend their faith. They know how to ride go-karts and eat pizza and do lock-ins. But when they go to a university and their faith is challenged, they have nothing to stand on whatsoever, And then I think another thing